What's up guys? So I got some QuickJacks. Super excited about this. Costco was blowing them out at like $700 a piece. Originally they're like $1,400, so that's like 50% off. So I couldn't resist. I really just had to get a set because it was too good of a deal to pass up. So I've got them in the other room. I have a friend down from Pennsylvania, so we are going to install these. It looks like there's a couple of things we've got to do to set them all up. I've got some automatic transmission fluid and a bunch of fittings that need to be put together and some hoses for the pneumatics, or the hydraulics I mean. So yeah, I think for this I'm just going to do a time lapse, and I'm going to give you guys kind of a review once everything's set up, get up under the car, show you how much room I have under there, and just give you an overall consensus of are they good or are they crappy. Main reason for pulling the trigger on buying these was because now that my car is lowered, I've got to use like big blocks of wood to drive up on just to get jack underneath to even begin putting it up on jack stands. And the whole process has just become a pain in the ass and sketchy, and I feel like for $700 to be able to just slide these under my car, be able to just start working on it right away, it's going to be quick, it's going to make working on my car much easier, and I think it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to time lapse the install and the setup of these, but I will be back and I'll let you know how awesome they are. Alright boys, we're gonna do this trial run. Alright, gonna go under the car here, see what kind of clearance we have. Got one of these creepers at Harbor Freight, so it should be nice to see. Oh gosh. So, I think we've determined that we have about enough room, a little bit like 2 or 3 inches more clearance than on jack stands. And this is a heck of a lot easier to get up under than jack stands are. So as you can see, we can see everything great up under here. This is the lowering springs we did back a few months ago. Here's the exhaust that we just did. One of the things that I wanted to fix, since I'm finally up under here, was this coupler up here under this exhaust. So yeah, here it is. As you can see, it's ground down a little bit from rubbing. It's actually not ground down as bad as it sounded like it was.
Oh, it's that.
So if I just loosen this and turn it up here, tighten it down, it'll be up and out of the way, and I honestly don't think I'm gonna rub anymore. But the amount of room that I have up under here is freaking awesome. freaking sweet. Pete, dude. I can scroll up here, check that guy out. I mean, as you can see, it's like a little bit tight. I've got like, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches maybe of clearance above me, but it's sweet. Just rolled down the whole side of the car. And at the front, boom. This is gonna be that was awesome. Easy. Alright, so it's been about 6 months of ownership of the QuickJacks now, and I wanted to, after filming the setup video, which you've just seen, wanted to take some time to use them, you know, casually, and figure out, do I really like the QuickJacks? Are they good value? Do I think people should buy them? I couldn't tell after the first, you know, install video I made. I just wanted to take some time to think it through and make sure that I was understanding truly what they were all about and if they were actually valuable to me. At first I was excited and I thought these are great, so I didn't want to make the video out of just the sheer excitement that they worked immediately. I wanted to give it some time to see if anything showed up that was strange or anything broke. But I can say everything so far has been an extremely positive experience with the QuickJacks. I feel like they have been a lifesaver for me with many scenarios that I've been in. So I kind of made a list here of 5 different things that I think are good highlights that I should talk about. And number 1 being that they're easy to use and easy to set up. As you saw from the time-lapse video, it's hard to tell. It took a little bit longer to set up than I originally thought, but nothing was too challenging. I had my friend over, and so we were able to tackle that job with 2 people instead of 1, so that definitely helped out. But setting them up can be done with a single person, and it's very easy to do. I had no issues with any of the parts and putting them together. Item number 2 on this list, which was surprising that it made itself on this list because I originally didn't think much of it when I was assembling things, but it's the quick disconnects on the hoses for the hydraulic fluid lines. So you have your pump, and then you've got 2 hoses connected to the pump that go out to each one of the QuickJacks. On both sides of the hoses there are these nice heavy-duty quick disconnects. It enables you to completely decouple the pump from the jacks, and so storage is great for that. You can I have the hoses coiled up and just hanging on a hanger in the garage, so I have the hose all nice and tucked away. Now the other pieces you have is just the QuickJacks and the pump. I can wind the cord up on the pump and store that off to the side in the garage very easily, and the jacks can sit up against the wall very easily as well. So I'd say that the quick disconnects enable you to have that nice decoupling from all of the components, and it enables you to have good storage because of that. It's great because if it was, you know, hard lines running from the pump and quick disconnects just at the jacks, you know, you'd have your pump and all these hoses kind of just in the way, and I feel like just everything being able to be completely independent makes it extremely valuable and useful, and I think it's a great just overall design that they went with. It's definitely a little bit more expense to add the quick disconnects on the hydraulic lines, but I think that it was the right move on their decision for designing that. And that, I guess, also kind of ties into number 3 on my list, which is they're extremely modular. These QuickJacks, I have them stowed away and I just pull them out whenever I need them. I just pull the QuickJacks off from the wall, slide them up under the car, grab the pump from where it's located and stored, hook that up with the hoses, and it's super modular, very easy to use. I have a ton of friends that do some stuff to their cars, and they're always like, hey man, can I borrow the QuickJacks? I'm like, sure man, like there's no issues with letting people borrow these. My friend just borrowed it the other week to part out his Mustang, and he needed to take off the all the suspension work that he did. So he brought by his truck, opened the back garage door, grabbed the QuickJacks, threw them in the back of the truck, pump down on the floor in the passenger side, and the hoses, since they have the quick disconnects, there's no leakage out of the hoses of hydraulic fluid, so he was able to put those on the floor inside of his car because we didn't want to have any pinching from them being in the bed with the QuickJacks. But they're extremely modular. You can take them anywhere. I could put them in the back of my M4 if I wanted with the seats down. That was actually how I brought them home in the boxes. So out of the box, they'll easily fit in the back of my car, and I could take them places if I really wanted to. And so that kind of leads into number 4 on my list, and this is a time savings. You will save yourself a ton of time using QuickJacks. I find even something as simple as an oil change, sometimes I drive up on ramps, but my car is really low now, so I can't even drive up on ramps without the front end just running into the ramps. So that's useless for me now. I used to, prior to getting these, would have to drive up on wooden blocks just so I could get a jack under the car and then lift it up in the air to be able to put jack stands under it. And jack stands are fine, but of course, everyone's probably heard by now the jack stands from Harbor Freight, which I had, and I'm lucky the car didn't fall on me using them, but I had some of the defective part numbered jack stands from Harbor Freight, and so much easier to use, and you save a ton of time by not having to deal with jack stands or a jack. Just slide these things right up underneath, connect the hoses, plug the pump into the wall, and you press a button and your car's up in the air. You're ready to start work. The locking bar on them is great. It locks into place, and then all the load is off of the hydraulic pumps and the lift. So yeah, the time saving is incredible. Doing simple jobs like changing the oil is extremely easy for me to do. Getting up under the car to do exhaust work. Had I had these when I was doing the exhaust work on my car, it would have made things a heck of a lot easier because I can slide up under there now with a little dolly that I lay down on, a little creeper for the garage. And so sliding up under there, now I can grab onto things, pull myself around under there, get into tight spaces without being squashed up underneath the car with jack stands that don't have the height that the QuickJacks did. And so that does it for number 4. Time savings, I think, is a big deal for people, and I think that would probably be a driver into why people would want to buy these, because you save time, and time is money, and people don't want to be in their garage all day working on something, and if they can cut the time in half, it's worth the value. Last but not least, number 5, which is on my list, and I kind of talked about it earlier, and this is safety. The feeling of comfort that I have working under these QuickJacks is incredible. I feel way safer. I used to always feel kind of sketchy using jack stands in my garage. I just feel even more so now that the Harbor Freight jacks that had been literally holding up my car while I was underneath it are defective. Like, just thinking about that, I was alone working on my car by myself. If that car would have dropped with those jack stands, I would have been dead. If I wasn't killed from just the car crushing me in general, nobody would have been able to help me because I was here alone by myself. Nobody would have heard me. But that scares me thinking back now how many times I was under the car. And if you watch, I'm about to release a BendPak install video, and I was watching that just recently, and it made me realize, wow, I was up under the car and I had jack stands and I had this weird rigged up ramps with wooden blocks just to get the car up high enough to work on the exhaust. And it was not a safe setup. With the QuickJacks, I feel so safe under there. These things, I've watched videos of them stacking, static weight of like 12,000 pounds, which is way more than they're rated for, but they were just kind of flexing, trying to show, how capable their jacks are beyond their limits. But don't recommend going beyond the rating of the jacks. Regardless of that, underneath your car with these jacks, a regular weighted car, if you're underneath the weight capacity of the jacks, you're gonna feel safe. And I feel so safe crawling up under there now. Like, It is incredible how much better I work under the car now that I have the comfort of the QuickJacks. I think a lot of times I'd be shimmying up under the car right next to a jack stand, and you know, if you bump those levers on the jack stand, you can cause that weight to come down if you hit them the right way or hard enough. And so that always kind of scared me, and that's something you don't have to worry about with the QuickJacks. Once they're lifted up, once the pneumatic or hydraulic pump lifts the QuickJacks up in the air, there's a locking bar that is a giant steel bar that is statically mounted. It swivels and it locks into place once it's up in the air, and there's no budge in that. So I feel extremely safe under the car, and I think that's a huge plus, and also worth mentioning because I think that's probably something that you don't initially think of when you're trying to buy these. You think about, you know, some of the straightforward things like it's easy to use or it's handy. The safety, I think, is a huge factor here, and that's why it made it on my list of top 5 things that I like about the QuickJacks. Yeah, for $700 on that Costco deal that I got on these, I still can't believe that bargain. And I don't think that deal is available anymore. But even now, knowing what they are and spending $700 on them, had I known how much of a advantage I'd have using these, I probably would have. I'd pay the full price for these now that I know what they are and what they're capable of. So I think in general, buying these QuickJacks, for anybody who's just doing DIY stuff in your garage like I am, and you don't want to go full post lift, I think this is like the best thing that you can get for your garage. It enables you to still have full functionality of your garage without dedicating space to a lift. You can slide these things up against the wall. They're just super easy to use, and you save a ton of time. So with that being said, I've rambled on quite long enough, and then probably, you know, at this point, hopefully I've made my point that these are awesome, and I highly recommend them to anybody who's been on the fence about them. If you're curious about anything that I haven't discussed, reach out and ask me questions. I respond to everybody's comments. So if you leave a comment and ask a question about something particular to the QuickJacks, I'll reach out to you within 24 to 48 hours, and I'll let you know the answer to that question from my perspective. Yeah, thank you all for sticking out this far in the video. I know I've kind of rambled a lot. I enjoyed doing this video. I enjoy these QuickJacks. I think they're amazing. If you're thinking about getting some for yourself, hopefully this video was able to kind of give you that push you needed to go invest in these. They're great for the garage, great for working on cars. But with that being said, I am going to cut it right here. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate you watching. If you're interested in any more videos with the QuickJacks, leave a comment below. You'll see them in some of my videos coming up because I'm using them all the time now. Recently did the wheels and tires on the GX470 with it, so that's super awesome. It made it so easy to do. But yeah, if you're interested in any more videos with the GX470, if you like the content I'm giving, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Or if you're furthermore interested in seeing any of the other videos from me, subscribe to the channel and you'll get notifications whenever I release a new video. Other than that, hope you guys have a great weekend, great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.